Hello, and welcome back to Better English Step by Step. I am Sarah, and I am so happy to have you here with us for another deep, relaxing study session. Today, we are going to talk about something that every single English learner struggles with at some point. It is not just about grammar, and it is not just about vocabulary. It is about confidence. It is about protecting your time. We are going to talk about how to say no. Hello, everyone. I am Mark. I am really looking forward to this one, Sarah. You know, when I was learning other languages, this was always the hardest part for me. I would be sitting at my desk trying to study or trying to work, and someone would come over and ask for help. And I knew I should say no because I was busy. But in my head, the only words I had were simply no, just that one word. And I felt like if I said that, I would sound angry or rude. So I would usually just say yes, and then I would feel stressed out because I lost my time. That is such a common feeling, Mark. It is the fear of being rude. In our native language, we have so many little ways to soften a refusal. We use tone, we use specific little words, and we use body language. But when you are speaking English as a second language, you often feel like you only have two choices. You can be nice and say yes, or you can be rude and say no. But today, we are going to learn that there is a middle path. We are going to learn the professional, polite, and calm way to set boundaries. Exactly. We want you to feel comfortable protecting your focus. Whether you are studying for an exam, working on a big project at the office, or even just trying to have a quiet moment to yourself, you need the right words to handle interruptions. So get comfortable. If you are commuting, just relax your shoulders. If you are at home, maybe grab a cup of warm tea. We are going to take this slowly, step by step. We have a lot of phrases to practice today, and by the end of this hour, you are going to feel ready to handle any interruption with total confidence. Let's start with the most important concept, Mark. It is called the softener. When we want to decline a request in English, especially in a professional setting or with friends, we almost never start the sentence with the word no. If you start with no, it feels like a door slamming shut. It stops the conversation instantly. Instead, we use a softener. A softener is a short phrase that goes before your refusal. It tells the other person, I care about you and I want to help, but I cannot right now. That makes sense. It's like a cushion. It makes the landing softer. So what is the best softener to start with? What is the one phrase that our listeners can use in almost any situation? The absolute best one, and the most common one you will hear native speakers use, is the phrase, I would love to help, but. Let's break that down. It starts with I would, but we almost always contract that to I'd. Listen to the sound, I'd, I'd. It is a long I sound followed by a very soft duh sound, I'd. Mark, give that a try. I'd, I'd. Perfect. Now, the next part is love to help. This expresses enthusiasm. It shows that your personality is helpful, even if your schedule is busy. I'd love to help. And then the most important word, but. The word but signals that the bad news is coming, but because you started with love, the listener is already feeling good. So the full phrase is, I'd love to help, but. Listen to the intonation. My voice goes up on help and then pauses. I'd love to help, but. I can hear that melody. It goes up and then it waits. Let me try it. I'd love to help, but. That was excellent. Now, listeners, I want you to try it. I will leave a quiet space for you. Just repeat after me. Focus on the contraction I'd. I'd love to help, but. I'd love to help, but. Very good. Now, we need to finish the sentence. Usually after the word but, we give a very simple reason why we cannot do it. You do not need to give a long, complicated story. A simple reason is best. For example, I'd love to help, but I am really busy right now. That is simple and clear. It does not sound rude at all. It actually sounds quite friendly. Let's try another ending. What if I am working on a deadline? Then you would say, I'd love to help, but I have a deadline. Okay, let's drill that. Listeners, repeat this full sentence. We will go slowly. I'd love to help, but I have a deadline. I'd love to help, but I have a deadline. Another very common ending is simply saying you are fully booked or your schedule is full. You could say, I'd love to help, but my schedule is full today. Mark, try that one. I'd love to help, but my schedule is full today. Excellent. Now, listeners, your turn. I'd love to help, but my schedule is full today. I think the key here, Sarah, is that we are not apologizing profusely. We are just stating a fact. We are saying, I have a positive feeling toward you, which is the I would love to help part, and then we are stating the reality, which is the schedule part. It feels very balanced.
It is very balanced, and that brings us to our second common softener. Sometimes I'd love to help feels a little too enthusiastic. Maybe you are talking to a boss or a client, and you want to sound a bit more formal, or perhaps a bit more serious. In that case, we use the phrase, I'm afraid. Now, this is one that used to confuse me. When I learned the word afraid, I learned it meant fear, like I am afraid of spiders, or I am afraid of the dark. So when I first heard someone say, I'm afraid I can't come to the meeting, I thought, why are they scared? Are they scared of the meeting? That is a very funny image, Mark, but you are right, it is confusing. In this context, I'm afraid has nothing to do with fear. It is purely a politeness marker. It is a way of saying, I am sorry to tell you this bad news. It is very British, but it is used very commonly in American English as well, especially in business. It creates a polite distance. The structure is usually, I'm afraid, followed by the negative fact. For example, I'm afraid I can't do that. Okay, so it is just a formal way of saying sorry or unfortunately. Let's look at the pronunciation. We have the contraction I'm, then the word afraid. The stress is on the second syllable. Afraid. I'm afraid. Exactly. Afraid. And usually we connect the M sound in I'm to the A sound in afraid. I'm afraid. It sounds like one word. I'm afraid. Listeners, try just that phrase with me. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. Now let's add the refusal. A very common one is simply, I can't, but we want to be gentle. So we say, I'm afraid I can't right now. Mark, let's hear you say that. I'm afraid I can't right now. Perfect. It sounds firm but polite. Listeners, please repeat. I'm afraid I can't right now. I'm afraid I can't right now. What if we want to be a bit more specific? Maybe someone asks you to join a meeting or a call, and you just do not have the time. You could say, I'm afraid I don't have time. That works, but sometimes saying I don't have time can sound a little bit dismissive. A slightly better way to say it in a professional context is, I'm afraid I'm tied up at the moment. Oh, I like that one. Tied up, like a rope? Metaphorically, yes. To be tied up means to be busy with other obligations that you cannot escape from. It is a great phrasal adjective to use. I'm tied up. It suggests that you are working hard and you cannot leave your current task. Okay, that is a great vocabulary upgrade. Instead of just saying, I am busy, say, I am tied up. Let's practice the full sentence with the softener. I'm afraid I'm tied up at the moment. Listeners, listen closely to the rhythm. I'm afraid I'm tied up at the moment. Repeat after me. I'm afraid I'm tied up at the moment. One more time. Really smooth. I'm afraid I'm tied up at the moment. So now we have two great softeners. We have the warm and friendly, I'd love to help, but, and we have the professional and polite, I'm afraid. If you just learn these two phrases, you are already halfway to being a master of polite interruptions. You never have to start a sentence with the bare word no again. That is a huge relief. Just knowing I have those two phrases in my pocket makes me feel calmer. But Sarah, what comes next? We have softened the blow, we have said no politely, but usually if someone interrupts you, they want to know what you are doing, or maybe you want to justify why you cannot help. Do we just say, I am working? You can say, I am working. That is grammatically correct. But if we want to sound like fluent, advanced speakers, we want to use the present continuous tense to describe our current focus. This is the second big step in our lesson today, the current focus explanation. The present continuous. That is the verb to be plus the verb ending in ing, like I am working, I am studying. Why is this better than just using the present simple, like I work or I study? Great question mark. The present simple, I work, describes a general fact. It means I have a job. But the present continuous, I am working, describes an action happening right now at this exact moment. When you use this tense to explain a refusal, it sends a very powerful signal. It says, I am in the middle of something. I cannot stop. It emphasizes the temporary, urgent nature of your current activity. I see. So if my boss comes to my desk and asks for something, and I say, I write a report, it sounds like I am just stating a hobby or a job description. But if I say, I am writing a report, it means, look at me, I am doing it right now. Please do not disturb. Exactly. It creates a visual image of you in action. Let's practice a few high-level phrases using this structure. We want to move beyond just I am working. Let's try I'm finishing up. Finishing up. That is a nice phrasal verb. It means you are near the end, right? Yes. To finish up implies you are in the final stages of a task. It is a very valid reason not to stop. If you stop now, you lose your flow. So the sentence is, I'm just finishing up a task. Note the word just. We add just to soften it even more. I'm just finishing up.
Okay, let's try to put this together with a softener. How about we combine I'd love to help with finishing up? That sounds perfect. The full sentence would be, I'd love to help, but I'm just finishing up a report. Okay, listeners, this is a longer sentence. We are building step by step. Listen to the rhythm. I'd love to help, but I'm just finishing up a report. Now you try. I'd love to help, but I'm just finishing up a report. Let's try another verb. Sometimes you are not finishing, but you are right in the middle of a complex problem. You are focusing deeply. A great phrase for this is, I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on. That sounds very professional. It commands respect. If you say, I'm focusing on this data, people understand they should walk away. Let's try it with the formal softener, I'm afraid. I'm afraid I can't right now. I'm focusing on this project. Listeners, repeat after me. I'm afraid I can't right now. I'm focusing on this project. And let's try one more variation for the current focus. This is for when you have a deadline approaching. You can say, I'm working against the clock. Oh, I like that idiom, working against the clock. It means you have very little time left, right? Yes, it means the deadline is very close and time is your enemy. It is a very strong reason to say no. I'd love to chat, but I'm working against the clock right now. That is a great phrase for our listeners to memorize. It instantly makes the other person respect your time. Let's drill that specific idiom. Working against the clock. Working against the clock. Working against the clock. Now the full sentence. Listeners, repeat after me. I'd love to chat, but I'm working against the clock right now. I'd love to chat, but I'm working against the clock right now. So, Sarah, we have the softener and we have the current focus explanation. But sometimes I really do want to help the person. I just cannot do it now. Is there a way to tell them yes, but later? Absolutely. This is the third and final piece of our strategy today. We call it the future alternative. This is what turns a rejection into a solution. It is the most professional way to handle an interruption, because you are not just closing the door, you are opening a window for later. The key phrase here is a phrasal verb, get back to. Get back to. That is incredibly common. I hear it in movies, in offices, everywhere. What does it mean exactly? To get back to someone means to contact them again with an answer or a solution. It implies a return. If I say, can I get back to you? It means, can I answer you later? It is much more polite than saying, can I tell you later? Or can we speak later? Get back to implies responsibility. You are taking the responsibility to return the communication. That is a crucial distinction. It shows you are proactive. So how do we build a sentence with this? The most common question form is, can I get back to you? Followed by a time. For example, can I get back to you in 10 minutes? That is very specific. I like that. It tells the person exactly how long they have to wait. Specificity is key to trust. If you just say, later, people might not believe you. If you say, in 10 minutes, they know you are serious. Let's practice pronunciation. Can I get back to you? We tend to crush these words together. Can I get back to you? The stress is usually on back. Can I get back to you? Mark, try that natural flow. Can I get back to you? Good. Listeners, try to match that speed. Do not say every word separately. Connect them. Can I get back to you? Can I get back to you? Now let's add the time. In an hour. Can I get back to you in an hour? Can I get back to you in an hour? Another great way to use the future alternative is to suggest a specific time of day. For example, can we look at this tomorrow morning? That uses the verb look at, which is soft and collaborative. It sounds like you are going to solve it together. Can we look at this tomorrow morning? Exactly. It changes the dynamic from I am ignoring you to we will work on this together later. Let's try that phrase. Can we look at this tomorrow morning? Listeners, repeat. Can we look at this tomorrow morning? One more variation. Sometimes you do not know exactly when you will be free. You just know you need to finish your current task first. In that situation, you can use the word once. Once implies as soon as I finish X, I will do Y. For example, I'll help you once I finish this email. I'll help you once I finish this email. That is very clear logic. It is. It sets a condition. It tells the person, please wait until I am done. Let's try to put the whole package together. We are going to combine the softener, the current focus, and the future alternative. This is the ultimate polite refusal. Okay, let's build a scenario. Imagine my colleague comes in and asks me to review a document, but I am busy writing something else. Okay, so step 1, the softener. Let's use I'd love to. Step 2, current focus. Let's use I'm finishing this report. Step 3, future alternative. Let's use can I get back to you in 30 minutes? Wow, that is a full paragraph. It is, but it flows logically. Listen to it all together. I'd love to, but I'm finishing this report. Can I get back to you in 30 minutes?
It sounds so professional. It sounds like a manager speaking. It does. It exudes control and calm. Listeners, we are going to practice this long combination. I will break it into 2 parts first. Then we will put it together. First part. I'd love to, but I'm finishing this report. Repeat. Second part. Can I get back to you in 30 minutes? Repeat. Now the whole thing. Take a deep breath. Speak clearly. I'd love to, but I'm finishing this report. Can I get back to you in 30 minutes? One more time. Imagine a colleague is standing right in front of you. Look them in the eye. I'd love to, but I'm finishing this report. Can I get back to you in 30 minutes? That was excellent. If you can say that sentence smoothly, you can handle almost any workplace interruption. Sarah, before we move on to our role-play scenarios, I want to ask about one small thing. What about body language or tone? Because I can say these words, but if I look angry, it does not work, right? That is such an important point, Mark. English is not just words, it is delivery. When you use these phrases, your face and voice need to match the message. When you say the softener, I'd love to help, or I'm afraid, you should look at the person and perhaps give a small, regretful smile. Your voice should be soft. But when you switch to the reason, I'm finishing this report, your voice can become a little firmer, a little more factual. And when you offer the solution, can I get back to you? Your voice should go up at the end, showing you are helpful and open. So it is a journey, soft and warm at the start, firm in the middle, open and helpful at the end. Soft, firm, open. I like that framework. Soft, firm, open. If you keep that in mind, you will never sound rude. Okay, I feel ready to put this into practice. Shall we do some scenarios? Let's do it. We are going to do 3 different role plays. I will describe the situation, and Mark and I will act it out. Then we will give you a chance to step into the role. Scenario number 1. This is a classic office situation. You are sitting at your computer. You are deep in thought, maybe writing a difficult email. A colleague, let's call him John, walks up to your desk holding a coffee cup. He looks like he wants to chat. Okay, I will play John. I am the interrupter. And Sarah, you are the busy professional. Right. I need to protect my focus, but I like John. I do not want to hurt his feelings. Action. Hey Sarah, do you have a minute? I just heard the funniest story about the weekend. I'd love to hear it, John, but I'm actually working against the clock on this proposal. Can we catch up at lunch instead? Oh, sure, no problem. See you at lunch. Cut. That was perfect. You didn't just say, go away. You said, not now, but later. Exactly. I used the softener, I'd love to hear it. I used the idiom, working against the clock, and I offered a specific alternative, at lunch. Okay, listeners, now it is your turn. You are Sarah. I am John. I will ask you the question. I want you to reply using the pattern we just practiced. You can use your own words or use Sarah's script. Remember, softener, reason, alternative. Are you ready? Here I come. Hey, do you have a minute? I just heard the funniest story about the weekend. Did you do it? Did you remember to say, I'd love to, but? Let's try it one more time. Focus on being calm. Hey, do you have a minute? I just heard the funniest story about the weekend. Great job. It feels good to say that, doesn't it? You are in control of your time. Let's move to scenario number 2. This one is for our students or academic listeners.
You are in the library or a study cafe. You are studying for a big exam. You have your headphones on. A friend taps you on the shoulder and asks for help with their homework. Okay, I will play the friend. I am struggling with my math homework. Sarah, you are studying for your English test. Okay, I need to be firm because exams are important, but this is my friend, so I will use I'm afraid because I want to show that I am serious about my study time. Action. Hey Sarah, sorry to bug you, but I am totally stuck on this problem. Can you explain it to me? I am afraid I can't right now, Mark. I'm focusing on my English revision. Why don't you text me tonight? Okay, cool. I will text you later. Good luck. Cut. That was a bit stricter, wasn't it? Yes, I used I'm afraid I can't right now. It is a bit shorter. It shows I really do not want to break my concentration. And then I said I'm focusing on, which validates my refusal. And the alternative was vague. Text me tonight. It puts the ball in your court. Right. It protects your study session completely. Listeners, now you are the student. You are focused. I am going to tap you on the shoulder. Use the phrase I'm afraid and tell me you are focusing. Ready? Hey, sorry to bug you, but I am totally stuck on this problem. Can you explain it to me? Excellent. Did you remember the pronunciation of afraid? Afraid. Let's try it again. Be firm.
Hey, sorry to bug you, but I am totally stuck on this problem. Can you explain it to me?